Bro,
running
look at the
around.
names we just said. Ruben Neves, Tielemans, James Maddison, Ward-Prowse, Mason Mount. Mason Mount.
Bro, even Ward-Prowse can play a ball, you know. A little ball.
Ward-Prowse is all right, but like, don't get me wrong. But the reason why I bring up Ward-Prowse because Ward-Prowse is better than Mason Mount.
Yeah,
he'll give us more. Dead ball specialist, we know that. Can pass through the lines, can score, bruv. Mason Mount, bruv. He is just an English Bruno that can't score, fam. Like, what are we doing? Fuming, bro. Fuming, but it hasn't happened yet. It better fail. It better fail, and it better be a rumor. Because I tell you now, if I see Mason Mount in a Man United shirt, I'm Ten Hag out, bruv.
Yeah.
Ten Hag out. I'm not playing. I don't care. I don't care. Oh.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Yes, people, another edition of Nights of the Round Table Discussions where we discuss all sport all the time. Got my guy ST in the building. How are you doing, sir?
Oh man, I'm all good, man. Welcome back. It's been a while, man, honestly. Like there's so much has happened since we haven't done the last podcast, man. So excited to be here.
It's been too long. It's been too long. I think the last one we did was two when we was talking about. Yeah, I think the title race hadn't been decided yet. But it was just after we went out the Europa League. So yeah, a lot has happened since then. And people, yes, we have missed you. We've missed the podcast. We've missed everything. And hopefully, as I said, fingers crossed, soon we'll be back to normal. Well, not normal, but it'll be a little bit more frequent than what we're doing right now. But people, we are back, and it's just ST and I today. So you know what that means. It is time for United talk. I don't think we've had a United talk in ages, so we had to bring it. But
it's been quite a few months now. It's been a few months now.
Yeah, United talk. I don't know if we've done a United talk this season. You know, if we did, it must have been at the beginning.
We've done it, but I think it was just after the World Cup.
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah. You're right.
That's about it. It wasn't that long after, so.
Yeah, but people, yes, if you're a United fan, this is the chat for you. We're going to be discussing the season, summing it up, seeing where we go next, and all that good stuff. But as usual, before we start, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Get the likes up, get the subscriptions up. As I say all the time, share. We are here, and don't forget to join our social media pages as well. Links are in the description. ST, before we get into the nitty-gritty, we have to talk about the disappointment that happened on the weekend, the FA Cup final against City. United losing 2-1, 2 goals from Gundogan, wonder strike after like 10 seconds, which is an absolute madness of a goal. Obviously, United got a penalty to equalise, and then 5 minutes into the second half, City, Gundogan scored again with a P-roller, which, well, look, we know what it is. We know who's to blame for that, and they go on to win the FA Cup. ST, sum up that game for me. How did you see it? Because it was a game. Look, if we would have said before the game, City would have gone in and steamrolled us, and it would have been, it is what it is. But it turned out to be a very frustrating game. So just tell us how you summed that game up, and what were your thoughts on the game?
You know what it is, yeah. City didn't play their best, first of all. But the reason why I think someone mentioned it in our group that the pressure bust pipes, and City were under a lot of pressure. However, I think they dealt well with the pressure. I think that they weren't at their best, scintillating best. However, I don't think they needed to. They started off really quickly, you know.
I mean, it's the fastest goal in the FA Cup, so yeah.
I mean, yes, we can say that Varane could have cleared the ball, headed the ball further, but it's one of the dozens, you know. A great strike, like you have to give it. Like Gundogan's a world-class player, especially under pressure. And then you're fearing the worst. I was fearing this. I was like,
oh yeah, you long way back.
This is going to be 5, 6, 7s. Oh dear, I'm not looking forward to it. Then what happened is Man United, I wouldn't say grew into the game, but I think we dealt with the City pressure a little bit better than we did previously. And we got a penalty. In
There
the
was a
laws of
penalty.
in the laws of the games today, it's a penalty. If we play ball, it's not a penalty. But the laws are the laws. The referee got the right decision. We scored the penalty, good penalty by Bruno.
Yeah, pressure penalty that was. So
Pressure penalty, so give him credit for that. However, Man United then went back into their shell a little bit again, which I was kind of worried about. So again, Man City weren't putting us under tremendous pressure. However, they were keeping the ball like their normal selves, still trying to break us down. Even till the second half, the same thing. And then, I don't think we really need to go too much into the goal. It was a mistake by the keeper. Like we're gonna say that he should have saved it. It was a P roller. And yeah, after that, City were still comfortable. I mean, yeah, Garnacho came on, was his usual busy self. However, again, when you come off the bench, you're not really expected to do things. You're just expected to have a little impact. So he did. Credit to him. But to be honest, it was one of them games where the scoreline looks closer than what the actual result was. I mean, Manchester United didn't really lay a glove on them. I mean, we scored from a penalty. So, and that's simply what it was. Man City deserved to win. I feel like they'll probably win the treble now. I mean, that Inter Milan team is not good. And yeah, I mean, what can I say? That's it, really.
Listen. How you said it is how you said it. It was a game in which City didn't play well, but we didn't do anything. We didn't do anything. I said it in when obviously we talked about it in the group chat. I said in that first half, the goal went in, and then we feared the worst. But then as time went by, we looked at it and it was like, well, City not really doing anything. And there was a couple of times where Rashford could have got in behind. I was content. I wasn't scared of anything because City just didn't look that good. We got the penalty, made it 1-1. And the last 5 minutes of that game, the first half, we looked good. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, let's see what happens. And in the second half, we go into it. Now, the one thing you don't want is to make a mistake. And then David De Gea makes another mistake. It's unforgivable that he makes that mistake. I see people putting in comments, he had like 65 bodies in him. Keepers have always got bodies in their way. Always, right? And it would have been different if Gundogan hits it clean and it goes into the bottom corner and you say, oh, it was too quick for him. Bro, that thing was rolling like tumbleweed, fam. Like, that thing was not moving, bruv. And he got a hand to it. So that's just slow reaction from a goalkeeper. It's another mistake. And essentially, it's what cost us. Now, don't get me wrong. Our attackers didn't do enough in the second half. Rashford in the game wasn't really existent. Bruno didn't really do much. Sanch didn't do anything. Who's the other one? Eriksen. Oh my lord, bro! He should have came off at halftime. He should have come off at halftime. He was that bad. Casemiro had too much defensive work to do, and you could see in the last 10-15 minutes he was feeling it.
Because I thought he was one of our better players on the day. I just think that towards the 10-15 minutes, there's only so much you can do
exactly.
When someone can't run anymore.
But the reason that the problem is that because Christian Eriksen couldn't keep up, Casemiro was covering more ground. Yeah. Fred was doing the man-to-man job with De Bruyne, which he normally does, and it normally works, especially when we're at home. So you can't get onto Fred for that. Like, do you know what I mean? But Christian Eriksen not doing the legwork is why Casemiro was so tired. And I saw people say, oh, well, why didn't we start Bruno in the 10? When Eriksen came off and Bruno went in the 10, you saw exactly why Bruno didn't play in the 10. Because Bruno decided that he wanted to play hero ball and go pressing everywhere. You don't press City. I know we did it in the first half, and to be fair, it kind of worked when we were pressing them because Ortega had to go long. But in the second half, City just played around us, especially when Bruno was in the 10. That's why Bruno got put out wide. What Ten Hag should have done, I know as much as we hate him, I think McTominay should have come in.
I agree. I was about to say that.
We should have played a 4-3-3, and McTominay should have come in and left Bruno out wide. But essentially, the team didn't play well enough. Varane and Lindelof did everything they could do. Like, Haaland was silent again.
I was going to say this as well, yeah. And this is me. I'm an attacker. So coming from an attacker, you have to debate. I'm sorry. As defenders, I'll be fuming at the attackers. I don't care we conceded 2 goals because this is the most annoying thing that has happened to the season. Man United's problem is not conceding goals. Maybe 1 or 2 matches you've done.
Yeah.
The
away from home, it's a problem.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that. But
we'll get into that.
essentially, it's scoring goal.
Man United don't score enough goals. Newcastle outscored us.
Mm-hmm.
All these other teams outscored us. I think Brighton were pretty much close to outscoring us.
Mm-hmm.
And there comes a point where if I was a centre back and you're a defensive position, you would have every right to be screwing at us.
Yeah,
because it's like we're working so hard, you lot are not creating anything.
Exactly.
Goals take off pressure from the teams, and you're not providing that.
Exactly. And the thing is that what you need to understand is that, yes, we understand City and how good they are and how much they keep the ball and whatnot. But when you get those half opportunities or those opportunities, you have to put the ball in the back of the net. You have to be clinical. The one thing, as much as we hated him, under Ollie, we were clinical against City. It's when we played them, which is why we always beat them, because we were clinical. We took the 2-3 chances we created, we took them, and unfortunately, we didn't even create enough to take anything in this FA Cup final. And it goes to show again, and we're going to get into it later on in the show, it goes to show again how much Tony was missed in that game. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. We'll talk about that later.
We've got to talk about it later.
But now it looks like City are going to go on to the treble. I know they got to play Inter Milan. That Inter Milan is rubbish, bruv. They're rubbish.
They're not great.
They're like City are going to walk the floor with them. And then we have nothing to brag about in terms of the treble. The treble was our thing. Arsenal had the Invincibles. We had the treble. Liverpool had the most European Cups. We're now about to lose our claim to fame against all the other teams. City's going to match it. Now, I can appreciate a great team, and I understand that City are a great team, and they're going to do this. I mean, ST, when you think about it, how many times do we start the season and we're like, friggin' hell, City are going to do the quad? How many times have we done that? So we got to respect and appreciate what City and what Pep has created and what they're going to do. But at the same time, it hurts because we had the opportunity to stop them. Now, I know I said Real Madrid were the only team that were going to stop them from doing the treble, and it looked like it's going to come to pass, but we had the opportunity purely because City didn't play well and we didn't turn up. And we're going to have to take the hit and deal with it. It's as simple as that. But we'll see what happens with City and the Champions League final. People, we will be back next week to wrap up the whole season after the Champions League final. But ST, let's move on from the disappointment of the FA Cup. We're going to take that aside, put that to one side. Now, when we summarize now the season for Manchester United, at the beginning of the season, I know what I said. I said 6th place in the Europa League. That's what I thought we were going to do. I think you said 4th or 5th in the Europa League.
I said 4th or 5th, and probably the Europa League. It was one of the two. I think I said 4th or 5th.
Yeah,
one of them.
And in the league, we surpassed those expectations. We finished 3rd, 75 points, 9 points off Arsenal, 14 points off City, but we got top 4. And that was crucial. Champions League football was what we needed for next season, which is why we were so adamant that we wanted to win the Europa League. Unfortunately, we didn't get to win the Europa League. Went out in the quarterfinals to the winning Sevilla, bruv. Inevitable, bruv. Your boys are inevitable,
my boy,
bruv.
you see, bro, just on that, sorry, I know this is Manchester United talk, but Sevilla, I'm telling you, this is the weakest Sevilla team in years. We don't attack well. We don't have any attack. Man, like we have Lamela and Gil there. They're not great for. And that's another thing. Tottenham, I'm laughing at Tottenham. Yeah, all these guys are going away from you and winning trophies. You're
winning trophies, bruv. Look, bruv. You see, Nuno won the Saudi league, bruv. Bruv, man like CPR7 went out there and still can't win a trophy, bruv. Bruv, people were saying, "Oh, why did you get rid?" This is why. Because now as I said, we finished 3rd in the league. Yeah, and things got better.
Go on.
But ST. Yeah, so 3rd in the league, 75 points, League Cup, first trophy since Maureen in 16-17 when he won the League Cup in the Europa League, and he had to win the Europa League for us to get Champions League football, which is what we thought we would be dealing with. Ten Heisenberg, 62 matches, 41 wins, 9 draws, 12 losses. Ten Hag has set the record for the most wins in all competitions in a debut season since that Maureen season where he did the League Cup in Europa League in 16 and 17. We'll get into Ten Heisenberg in a minute. But when we look at the team, bro, and we summarize how we got on, we definitely have exceeded expectations this season, have we not?
Yes. I will say this overall, I didn't, if I'm being honest, if you told me that Man United will win the Carabao Cup and finish third in the league, I'd be looking at you, are you okay?
I'll be looking at you sideways, bro.
I was like, are you okay, mate? Like, are you drunk? That's what I'll be saying. Have you had some of TJ's punch? You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, but no, we have exceeded in this sense. I mean, I'm still frustrated because there are things that I still don't like.
Mm-hmm.
There are still things that this man in your background that has done that I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
However, it is a process. We did know that both of us said that this is going to be a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
We knew that there were some games where we know that it would be very frustrating. But ultimately, if we're looking objectively, we've done what we had to do. Now the goal is to improve on what we have to do. That's the thing. And this is where he'll get judged mostly on. I mean, it's a very good season considering what we expected.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect, if I'm being honest, I thought it'd be very closer for I was worried about the Champions League.
Mm.
I was even worried about Europe, if I'm being honest, like you. I was a bit worried about us even getting to Europe. And I would have liked the Europa League if certain things didn't happen. But,
of course.
Good season, objectively.
Look, at the end of the day, we put it into context, right? When we made those predictions at the beginning of the season, we could have never foreseen what would have happened to Chelsea and Liverpool.
Yes.
In this season. So couldn't have foreseen that Liverpool would have been so bad. Obviously, they got good towards the end, but their one was more injuries, and an old midfield, which they're going to address in the summer. We know that. We couldn't have foreseen what happened with Chelsea, with Todd Bowley doing up NFL draft and that, trying to pick up all the kids like he's a Michael Jackson on a Neverland ranch. Like, we couldn't have seen that Tuchel would have got the boot. Potter comes in, he gets the boot.
Lampard comes in.
Oh my Lord, bro! Lampard comes in, and bro, listen, mate, listen. One thing, people listen. In the end of season show, when we get onto Chelsea, it is going to be emotional because you see me, people, you know how much I hate Chelsea and their fans. So it is going to be sensational, the amount of shit I'm going to be chatting to Chelsea and their fans. But anyway, United talk. But yeah, so Fat Frank comes in and then they do what they do. Obviously, Spurs with Conte, a lot of people said they could have seen what was going to happen, but still, it's Conte. Anything could have happened. So when you put it into context, quite a few of them teams didn't perform. Obviously, didn't see Newcastle and Brighton doing what they were doing. Arsenal doing what they were doing, and did what they did in the league, finishing second as well. So there's a lot of factors that comes into us finishing third, but we got the job done. We did what we had to do. And I have to give credit to Ten Heisenberg because, bro, do you not remember the depression that we had in the first 2 games of the season when we lost 2-0 to Brighton and then we got absolutely torn to pieces by Brentford?
Yeah.
And people were saying certain man were like, Ten Hag ain't gonna last the season and that.
Oh yeah.
You get me? Which I'm gonna be getting my apology for. Myself and ST are gonna be getting our apologies for.
Yeah.
Right? So to go from that and then to see what he's done, it is remarkable. A lot of people will be saying you're exaggerating, but you need to remember as well where we were last season under Ralph. Well, not so much Ralph. It wasn't Ralph's fault. Under Ollie, that bum. And then Ralph took over and it didn't work out. There was a lot that needed to be sorted. And Ten Hag came in. He sorted out the CPR7 business. He got the team playing, not the way how he wants to play, but he got the team playing. And we've reaped the rewards of it, bro. I mean, when you look at this team and you look at the squad, brother, and you're just like, how did he finish third with this team, bro? When you look at the names, but the first thing he did was address CPR7, drop the fridge, right? Basically said to Dallo, you're gonna take the number 1 spot. Wan-Bissaka to go away, work on his game, came back even better. Luke Shaw performed out of skin. The buy of the season for us, I know a lot of people, there's 2 of them, but the buy of the season for us, Lissandro Martinez with Varane, bruv, and the clean sheets, sensational. Yeah. Obviously, Casemiro ahead of them, great with them. Obviously, he was working with Eriksen and Bruno in the initial, and it was working, and Eriksen got injured. Fred would come in, give us the energy. Anthony, okay season, not the worst, but not picking up trees. Obviously, Sanch had to go away, come back. He looks better. Obviously, got a lot more work to do and stuff. And obviously, Tony. The problem with Tony is,
I'm fuming
when Tony played, he played well.
Well, yeah.
But the problem was he just wasn't available.
That's the issue.
That's the issue. Bruno, what Ten Hag did with Bruno was brilliant. Because Ten Hag basically said, when Eriksen was fit, Ten Hag basically said to Bruno, look, listen, I need your energy. I need you to press. And the most important thing that I need you to do is not fucking cross the halfway line because you're going to give the frigging ball away. Do your work in the opposition half. And it worked. When you saw Christian Eriksen got injured, you saw Bruno was dropping deep and he kept giving away the ball and he cost us a lot of goals, right? So in that sense. And then Rashford, can't complain, bro. I understand that he may not have played well in a lot of the games that he scored in. And the stats actually don't reflect his gameplay overall. But considering where he was, looking like he was going to PSG and coming back now, and the guy scored 30 goals this season. I can't complain in that sense. So when you look at it and then you look at the likes of Garnacho that he's brought through, Palestri's getting a little bit more game time as well. Obviously, we got signings that we can question, i.e. Weghorst, but that was desperation because we needed a body. Yeah. And to be fair, it worked for the first month. For the first month, it worked for the first month with Weghorst, but then it kind of went to shit after. So, but when you look at what he's had to deal, and the biggest factor of all, the sale of the football club, which still hasn't happened, but when it initially came out, which is why he couldn't buy anyone in January, so he had to make do with loans of what he did. Savitz obviously getting injured didn't really see much of an impact. So when you put all of that together, bro, the man's worked miracles with this team, especially which the common denominator is this team isn't that good.
They're not.
It's not, but Ten Hag got the maximum out of them, bro.
Yeah. Well said. I can't say anything more than that. That's it. And
look, as I said, man's got the most wins in all competitions, and I think the reason why I want to highlight that ST is because I remember reading an article. I couldn't believe it when I read it. Dwight York came out and said, "Ten Hag can go. Ollie was better." Are you a dickhead, fam?
You see, Dwight, bro.
Are you all right, bruv?
Yeah, he's not well.
Are you all right, bruv?
No, he's not. Listen, he's all right. He's not well.
Bro, man said
it's dementia.
Ten Hag, Ollie did nothing. Ollie did nothing. He created more problems than what he solved. Ten Hag came in with this team and got us to finish third, play better football, even though he hasn't started playing his style of football, right? And allowed us to finish in the top 4 and won a trophy. Ollie couldn't win us a trophy. ST, do you want to know something else?
Go on.
Do you want to know something else? Because I know what the Ollie sexuals will say. Ollie got us second place. ST, we finished with 75 points this season, yes? Mm-hmm. When Ollie finished second, he finished with 74 points, right? So in Ten Hag's first season, he got more points than Ollie, bruv. Like, so I don't want to hear that argument.
Well, you know what it is you know it is, TJ, yeah? When your friends, listen, it's like when he's obviously backing his friend.
Yeah.
But it's like, for example, if I was managing a club, and you saw that I was doing well, You tell me, I know you. I've known you for years. You tell me, listen, Sally, you're doing shit. Or Zesty, you're doing shit. You know what I mean? Like, you're not, like, you need to let it go. You tell me the realness.
Oh yeah.
At least, like, but at the same time, when you're backing your teammate when he's doing nonsense in front of everybody, it's not conducive, and that's what he is. He's only trying to defend his friend, but at the end of the day, you have to tell your friend that you're doing bullshit. Like, you're not performing well. And the fact that he said that means that, one, either he doesn't understand football, or two, that he's just a screw loose and he just doesn't care. I don't know which one it is. Like, I'll be honest.
It's madness, bro. Like, I couldn't believe it when he said that. I think it was the time. Oh, wait, who did we lose to? I can't remember who we lost to, but after that he came out with that. I couldn't believe it, bro. But it is what it is anyway. We're not talking about Hollywood. We're celebrating Ten Heisenberg. But ST, in celebrating Ten Heisenberg, we also have to critique Ten Heisenberg. And one of the biggest issue, and something that he has to address next season, obviously the transfers being one, our away form against the big teams. We didn't win anywhere. We didn't win in Arsenal. We didn't win at City. I don't think we beat. I think it was only Fulham in the top 10 that we won away to.
And even that was a last.
And that was a last minute. Yeah, from
That's what I'm saying. I was even gonna say, you're talking about the top teams. We didn't do well at all.
Away from our away form was terrible, but more so against the big teams. We never beat anybody. Oh yeah, and we got a draw at Chelsea as well, which we should. I remember that game. We dominate that. You know the biggest joke about that game, ST? That was probably the best football I saw us play.
Yeah.
And we didn't win, and that was frustrating. But that's where Ten Hag's gonna have to. Don't get me wrong. In the initial, it was naivety. Like when we played that City game, winning that City game with Fred, Eriksen, and Bruno as our midfield. We knew, like we all knew what was gonna happen. Obviously Brentford away, I think it was the same thing, but that was more so. That was mistakes from Harry Maguire and De Gea, which we've seen countless times. But I think that's where he's going to have to improve. I think he will, but he has to be a little bit. Even the Arsenal game again, that was probably one of the best games in the Premier League that we played. Not in terms of two teams going at it, and then we lost it in the last 5 minutes. But the Liverpool game, the hammering, City away, hammering, Brentford away, hammering. Like these hammerings can't happen next season. We have to do better. He has to do better next season, and I think that he will do. Tactically, he showed a little bit of naivety. I think towards the end of the season as well, ST, something that we praised him for a lot was his way. It was the way in which he made substitutions and changed games. That seemed to fade towards the end of the season because he wasn't doing it as much, or was he making the wrong substitutions?
He was making the wrong substitutions. He was making the substitutions at the same the things that we were criticizing Ollie for. And both of us were getting onto him about it, because at the end of the day, we have to keep it a buck. If you're making the same substitutions consistently and they were the same, I was getting worried. I was thinking to myself, are they putting pressure on you or something like this? Or you seeing that these are the right decisions? Because there were a lot of wrong decisions that he made, even starting games as well towards the end of the matches. This is why we were also losing matches. So a lot of the matches as well as he's done, you have to give your manager, we have to be objective and criticize him. Some of the decisions he made cost us games. Like, I'll be honest, the Man United game, the first one against, for example, the Man United game against Sevilla, we were winning, we were comfortable and stuff like that. However, there were certain substitutions you don't make. And I was thinking to myself, does Maguire need to come on? Does all these guys need to come on? I mean, we get a 2-0 result there, we win the tie. He made two.
Maguire came on for Varane. Remember, Varane and Martinez got injured in that game, that he kind of did. It was the Bruno one that he did.
It was Bruno one,
Bruno didn't need to come off. I think he took off Anthony as well, who didn't need to come off. Something along those lines. Yeah.
And they could have gone on for long, and then what happened? It kind of messed the whole game up and stuff like that. And then you saw what happened. So things like that, he needs to learn from it. I'm hoping he will. I hope he will. And I hope to see a slightly better style of football. But it all depends on this transfer window and who he wants to buy. Because initial signs in, I'm a little bit worried, if I'm being honest, bro. But we'll get into that.
we'll get into that, but just in terms of the season as a whole, when we look at it, as I said, Rashford scored 30 goals this season, and this is where at ST, you brought up earlier about them scoring goals. Rashford scores 30 goals in all competitions. The next top scorer is Bruno with 14. That's a massive drop off. Then you got Tony with 9, Anthony with 8, and then it's Casemiro and Sancho with 7. So from Rashford scoring 30 to Bruno scoring 14, we need to bridge the gap there. And obviously, with Tony always being injured, we're going to have to bring reinforcements in, because we can't have such a discrepancy next season, especially with Poch being at Chelsea now. So we think they're going to improve. Obviously, Tottenham's got a new manager. We don't really know much about him, so we don't know what's going to happen with him. Liverpool, I think Alexis McAllister's having his medical, so they're going to be better. City are City. Arsenal, I know a lot of people are saying Arsenal are not going to get a chance to win the league again, but they will strengthen now. They've got Champions League football. So, and then you look at Newcastle, obviously Champions League football, so they're going to buy players. I know they're a little constricted by FFP. They're going to buy. Brighton will look to replace the play. So you got all these factors coming in. So it's going to be a big job for Ten Heisenberg in the summer. But ST, again, it comes down to who are going to be the owners of Manchester United come the summer, because right now we are in limbo in terms of that. I think the Sky Sports reported, like, obviously you and I are a bit bored of it now. We're just like waiting, like, look how long we can wait and see. The Glazers are taking the piss, and we know this, and it's an absolute disgrace that this has taken so long, and they're holding the club to ransom, and they're not doing what they're supposed to do. You and I both know what is going to happen. That corpse Radcliffe is going to get the club. The club's going to be stuck with the same debt that we've got now. The Glazers will still have a percentage of the club, and we're going to be in the same boat that we are in come next season.
Oh, no. No.
Right? And this is what I don't understand about these dumb United fans. This man has come in and said, I'm going to build a new stadium. I'm going to wipe the debt. I'm going to invest in the women's team. I'm going to invest in the local area. I'm going to invest in the club of 90, the class of 92, right? I'm going to invest in the training facilities that everyone knows is a dump, right? The stadium's a dump as well. And being Manchester United, you can go out and buy whomsoever you want with the money that we make. What the hell are we protesting for? Because you're talking about human rights, blah blah blah, this, that, and the other. We've got enough problems in our own frigging country, right? With the cost of living crisis, right? The racism in this country, yeah. Homelessness is our all-time high, yeah. And you want to go and talk about but what's going on in their country? Shut up. Shut up. Right? The man's coming in and said, I'm going to do all of this. He could probably, I've been to Manchester, the homelessness pandemic that they got there. With the infrastructure and what he's trying to do to pump into the city, he could probably cure the homelessness in Manchester. Right? But we're moaning. And we know why people are moaning. And we can't say what we want to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you know what the funniest thing is? Look at your successful neighbors. This is what Moise said.
Look at your successful neighbors.
They're doing the same. They've changed the info because you've been to Manchester. They've changed the infrastructure. The new stadium. There are a lot of jobs. The area is nice around here. People are working and stuff like that. But when you go to Salford,
and the fact of the matter is they've got success on and off the pitch. Now we know that there's something going on right now, obviously, that we're hoping for. That goes wrong for them, right? But at the same time, the key denominator is every single rival fan could think of nothing worse than Manchester United getting that money, bruv.
Oh, it'll be over.
From when the rival fans do not and will do anything to stop this from happening, you know it is the right deal.
Exactly.
Right? But yes, we're still doing this foolishness, bro. So when you factor that in as well, Ten Hag's hands are kind of tied, bro.
Yes,
when
they
you
are.
when you look at it, his hands are kind of tied right now in terms of that. But ST, let's say that a miracle happens and Sheikh Jassim comes in and he says to Ten Hag, obviously, got to work in the constraints of FFP. So here's 600 million for you to spend because that's how much we made last season. Yeah. Now, I know we've got this fantasy thing of what we can do. We said it the last time about Mbappe and Haaland and all these people coming in, blah, 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 blah. But realistically, because we've lost Jude, Jude looks like he's on his way to Real Madrid. Yeah. So we've lost Bellingham, right? When you look at it, ST, obviously let's start off with the most common denominator and the most center forward. Now, I know you and I both know, obviously, the objective is to get Sugarcane in. But we know Daniel Levy is going to be difficult, extremely difficult with it. Is Sugarcane someone that you would take?
Reluctantly, yes. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, there are things that he has to come with someone. So he has to, you know, what it is with Kane, yeah? Kane has to come with someone who can run around him, if you're being honest. Like, because I'll be honest, we need someone with legs around him. So if you are buying Kane, we have to guide someone with at least a bit more, someone who can get the ball to him and stuff. Because you can drop in and create and stuff like that. And Kane, when you get the ball, he'll finish. That's one thing we know about Kane.
Yeah,
so
100%.
I would, you know what it is? I would get him. He wouldn't be my first choice. I'd get him, but it has to come with someone else, if you understand what I mean. Someone who can, at least someone with energy, someone who's got legs, and someone who can get in the ball, if you understand what I mean. If we had that, then I say, you know, let's take Kane. You get me?
Yeah. So when we look at the striker situation, obviously Tony's out. As I said, with the truth, we decided the truth. Tony's got to go. It is what it is. He's not available. As much as we love him and as much as we defended him, we know he's got talent. It's not enough for us anymore, and he has to go. With Sugarcane, it's difficult because he's 30 going on 31. But the thing is, ST, we say about Tony and injuries, Sugarcane's normally injured for at least a month during the season. This season, I don't know how he's managed to stay away from getting injured. So when we look at it, he's due an injury, bruv. So the last thing we want to do is bring him in and then he gets injured because you know his ankles are awful, it's dodgy. But we know what we're getting. He scored 30 goals in the Premier League this season. And bro, no one's talking about it because obviously Android Haaland when he scored 36 and broke all the records. But he scored 30 goals in that crap Tottenham team who finished 8th, bruv. So we know what we're getting, but he doesn't suit our style. And this what you said. He doesn't really press. If he plays for us, he has to stop doing that quarterback role. He can't be doing that. He has to stay further forward. And he has to stay fit. And we're going to get 3 years out of him. So I get it from a standpoint wherein which he's in last year's contract. It's now or never for him. I've already said this, and I said this to UST, and I said it to everybody else. He's going to have to go on strike to get this deal to go through because Levy's not going to want to sell to us. Obviously, Uncle Benzi's now left Real Madrid and he's going to the Saudi League.
Yeah.
So, but we know that Sugarcane wants to stay in the Premier League because he wants to break that Shearer record. So, and I don't think he'd uproot his family to Spain. I don't think he'd want to go to Spain, even though I know Jude's going out there. So we are looking at it being us or nobody. Can't go to Chelsea, can't go to Arsenal. Liverpool don't need him. City don't need him. Could go to Newcastle, but can they afford his wages and would they really want him? So when you're looking at it, it's really us or Real Madrid. And I think we're in the driver's seat when it comes to that. But again, ST, I'm not spending no more than 70 or 80 mil. I'm not 100. He's got 1 year left.
It's
1 year,
much.
he's 30 going on 31. I'm not spending 100 mil. I know we will probably end up doing it, but me personally, I'm not. I'd rather go out. If I'm going to do that, I might as well go out and buy someone younger. And then when we're looking at alternatives, we're looking at Osimhen. There's talk of that Koulibaly from, is it Frankfurt or Leverkusen? Which one of them is it?
Kolo Muani from Frankfurt.
I'm not really impressed. I don't really want him.
Even Osimhen is done what Osimhen is. He's good, but he's still a little bit bush for me.
He is, but he's proved that he can score goals at the top level.
Yeah,
he's young, so he's got
Yeah.
time. It's something to invest in. Do you know what I mean? And I think he suits Ten Hag's style a lot more because obviously at Napoli and how they play and how successful they've been. So I'd prefer to have him. Obviously, Kolo Moani is another one. Being linked with Lautaro Martinez. Please, Lord, no.
No,
please,
we get him. We get him. We're finished.
No, please, no. And then after that,
not many strikers out there.
There's not a lot. So we're looking at Kane or Osimhen. Those are the two for me that I'm only willing to accept. I'm not really willing to accept anybody else. And then after that, if we do get rid of Tony, we need to look for someone else.
Yeah.
So then we're looking at the guy that we missed out on. Like I got told by my boy the other day, that Ferguson at Brighton, he got offered to us for like 500 grand.
I'll take him.
He got offered to us.
I know.
Our
and
academy
we said no.
for 500 grand.
I know. We said no.
And we turned it down.
We're idiots. We're not serious.
We turned it down. Now he's going to be worth like 100. Now I don't want 100 mil for it. But obviously, if we can get him on a 40, 50 mil, I take him as well.
I'm taking him.
And I'd take him as well. If not him, then I would take that Kolo Muani as a second option.
Yeah,
I take him as a
striker. Yeah.
I said, but Marcus Thuram is available on a free from
Mönchengladbach.
Mönchengladbach. So that's an option because we're going to need two. If we're going to get rid of Tony, we're going to need two strikers because
we are.
And I mean, there is somebody else that is still employed by the football club that we don't know what's happening. I mean, if that someone else were then we can see we can hold fire. But
are we allowed to say his name?
Realistically, he's
the two-footed demon.
It's gonna be he who shall not be named.
Let's just say the two-footed demon. They know who we're talking
about. But if let's be realistic, that's not realistically going to be the case. So we're going to need two centre forwards. So I'm happy with that. Rashford can only be used as an auxiliary forward, that third choice if we're desperate. We need to go back to those days when Rashford was the third choice striker, not the second choice or the first choice. So yeah, Steve, that's what we're looking at there. Then after that, we're looking at we're getting a centre back in this Kim something another from Napoli.
Kim J is a very good centre back, but he'll need someone fast. He's athletic, but he needs someone. He's in the I'm gonna say Maguire ilk, but better.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
In a sense, he's a lot more he reads the game very well.
So basically, he can play football.
He can play football, yeah.
Because you said he's in the Maguire ilk, but better, so that means he can play football.
Yeah, he can play football.
Yeah, so yeah.
No, but I mean in the sense of what style. If you're
he's slow.
I want to say he's slow. No, he's athletic. He's fast, but he's quick. But he knows. So basically, he's better defensively. But so he's
stop saying Maguire. Use Eric Dyer instead.
No, I'm gonna say Eric. Which defender? So no, he's a very intelligent defender. I watched him from when he was at Fenerbahce. He reads the game very well. He's no nonsense and stuff like that. But he's fast, but you need someone fast. You need someone like a Varane or Martinez next to him to complement.
Well, what we're looking at now, we know Varane and Martinez are our first two, but we got to look at the fact that Varane is 30 now. And listen, he's had a great season to last as long as he has for us this season.
He's done well this season.
We have to touch wood because he's done very well. But we need to look at it and say, yes, we've got Varane and Martinez as our top two, but Varane again probably won't be available as much. Linda, when he's come in, has done a good job. So we keep Linda. And then if we bring this Kim Jong-un guy in for us, right? That's 4 centre backs that we got. Then we get rid of the fridge on toes, bro.
Oh yeah, he's going anyway.
I don't care what we do.
Do it for free.
I saw in the reports that we're going to pay him to leave. Let's pay him. Let's pay. Get rid. It's time. Ten Hag has done the best thing in the world because he let him hang himself.
Yeah.
Right. So the media couldn't get on to Ten Hag. That fridge on toes hung himself. right?
But you
And
know,
now
you know,
he's being gotten rid of, and
you,
all for us, all for it, bruv. He needs to go. I don't
you
care. The
I
guy,
hear it.
listen, we shouldn't even be paying him for him to leave the club. We should be paying him to leave football, fam, because he's an utter disgrace.
He's
Imagine
crap.
this guy could tell he could tell people who play for Manchester United. Am I a
Yeah,
dickhead, fam? Am
yeah.
I? Like this guy could tell people I play for Manchester United. It's only downhill from here, you know. He's not going anywhere. But there are reports that we could probably try and use him in a deal because Tottenham want him and all for it, bro. Imagine having Eric Dyer and Harry Maguire as centre back.
Oh, expressions is gonna be
The fridge and freezer at centre back, bro. Both of them not moving. Oh my days, bro. Crazy.
expression will be fuming. It will be beautiful.
Crazy. It will be great. But okay, so yeah, so if we can do that, I think that takes care of centre backs. There's only one key position that I think we can address because we can't address them all, and it is in centre midfield. We need a ball playing centre midfielder. I don't want to hear the name Frankie de Jong. I'm done with it. I'm bored of it. He doesn't want to come. Leave him where he is, and let's move on. My issue is ST. Ruben Neves got a year left. I think the deal is being done with Barcelona, even though I don't think Xavi wants him. So we need to watch that. Tielemans is on a free, bro. Tielemans is on a free, right? Take him. James Maddison just got relegated for with Leicester. Now I know he's more of a 10 than a centre midfielder, but still take him. We can do the City thing. One holding, and the other two next to each other. And then you're looking at the likes of, bro, I'd even take Ward-Prowse if I had to. Now, I don't really want him. Yeah, I'd take Ward-Prowse. And the reason why I say that, ST, is because we are seriously being linked with Mason Mount. Now, Ten Heisenberg has done a great job. He's gotten rid or getting rid of a lot of players that I don't like. There's only one or two left. And then you are going to bring in a player. So we're getting rid of Harry Maguire, who's a bum. And then we're bringing in a bum in Mason Mount into our team. To do what? To run up and down. We've already got Bruno for that. We've already got Bruno for that. What do we want Mason Mount for? Why? Why do we want Mason Mount? Why?
Bruno's better than him. Bruno's better than him.
And that says something because Bruno's better than him. Yeah. Right? Why would we want to bring in Mason Mount? What for what, bro? ST, tell me, what are his qualities? Because apart from running up and down, I don't know. So please enlighten me, because I want to know.
You see how I'm silent? What can I say, mate? I agree with you. Like, there is nothing he does well that's on the board. It's always running.
Look at the names we just said. Ruben Neves, Tielemans, James Maddison, Ward-Prowse, Mason Mount. Mount.
Bro, even Ward-Prowse can play a ball, you know.
Ward-Prowse is all right, but like don't get me wrong. The reason why I bring up Ward-Prowse because Ward-Prowse is better than Mason Mount. Yeah, he'll give us more. Dead ball specialist, we know that. Can pass through the lines, can score, bruv. Mason Mount, bruv. He is just an English Bruno that can't score, fam. Like, what are we doing?
I never thought I'd say this, but let's not disrespect Bruno. At least Bruno does at least scores. At least he's got a little bit about him more. Mount is terrible, and I don't like Bruno at all. I think Bruno
exactly, bro. This is my point. I'm giving Bruno a compliment here.
Yeah,
and you know how I feel about it. But this guy is rubbish.
Yeah, he's dead.
Rubbish. Like I thought he was a nailed on set to go to Liverpool. I'm like, happy days, bro. Go
take him.
Stay at Chelsea. Like the ST. If he signs Mason Mount, I'm Ten Hag out. I don't care.
No, I hear you. I hear it.
I don't care.
I hear it. I won't be defending. I won't say anything. I'm not gonna back him or anything. Like, I'm sorry, because at the end of the day, and the thing is, you wanted a certain way of playing football, and you wanted certain players. If you're going to get that sort of player, you need to get the best sort of player out there to do the quality. You need to get the best sort, not the Mason Mount. You need to get a player that's a lot better that can do that and more. I don't care what you're saying, but the fact that you're going for Mason Mount, I said if this happens, yeah, Ten Hag, listen, bro, I'm not with it. I'll be honest. Fam, I have to say, yeah, we're not doing anything.
Bro, I'd rather him say to Bayern, we'll keep Sabitzer. We'll keep Sabitzer. Or Gravenbach, because Gravenbach wants to leave. Like, why are we doing this to ourselves? Why? Why are we doing this to ourselves? Like, it annoys me. It annoys me because you did so well in the first transfer window, bringing in players that I like. Don't get me wrong, I questioned some of them, like Casemiro, because of the age and whatnot, and the contract that he's on. Fair enough. But, why?
He's so crap.
Bro, he's so rubbish. Bro, Chelsea fans are celebrating at the fact that we're going to sign Mason Mount. Like certain times, I do sit here and I think to myself, like, Manchester United are a massive club. They've got a social media team, right? Who will look at social media, see Chelsea fans celebrating that we're going to sign Mason Mount and not tell the hierarchy? Fuming, bro. Fuming. But it hasn't happened yet. It better fail. It better fail. And it better be a rumor. Because I tell you now, if I see Mason Mount in a Man United shirt, I'm Ten Hag out, bruv.
Yeah.
Ten Hag out. I'm not playing. I don't care. I don't care. Oh, mate. But let's be positive, bro.
So let's hope he fails. Let's see if it does get to that. Let's hope he fails the medical.
Bruv, listen, we're sabotaging everything. I don't care, bruv. He's not coming. He's not coming. But when we look at it, ST, because we got to look at the midfield because it's important. Donny looks like he's gonna go.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not worked out.
Sabitzer is gonna go back to Bayern.
Bayern Munich, yeah.
Christian Eriksen's legs are done.
Yeah, so he can't start.
When we look at it, we're looking at Casemiro, Fred, and McTominay. Right? We've got to bring in two midfielders. If we're gonna lose those, we can't just bring in one. We have to bring in two because we need. So if ideally, what we'd want to do is Tielemans and Ruben Neves for me. If we could bring those to it, have Casemiro. So we start off with Casemiro, Neves, and Bruno, and then we can change it up, play Tielemans in there as well. Because remember, we're back in the Champions League now. So that would be very good. So that would be a very good midfield.
Yeah.
Casemiro, Neves, Bruno. Casemiro, Neves, Tielemans, and then we can bring Bruno, McTominay, Fred off the bench. So that gives us 6 players in midfield, bulks up the midfield. That's good stuff. When we look at the defenders, obviously we've got 4 centre backs. I think the full backs are fine. I don't think we need to do anything this season. Yes, we can question right back. We need someone that can do both. Dallow's better going forward. Wan-Bissaka's better defensive. But I think we can tolerate that for now. Out wide, obviously, Rashford, Sancho, and Garnacho on one side. We've got Anthony, and then Anthony Palestri, and I'm very, very excited to see Ahmad come back.
Yes. You see, Ahmad, I'm looking forward to him coming back. Yeah. I like the look of him. He's good.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing him come back. And then, obviously, if we were to get Kane or Osimhen and then get in Ferguson and Koulibaly as well, I think we're good. But that brings us to the final position that has to be addressed, and that is goalkeeper. David De Gea has to go.
Bro. Leave. We have to pay out his contract.
To go, bro. Like, nah, bro, his contract's up. His contract's up.
Yeah, he has to leave.
His contract's up, bro. Apparently we're being linked with that Costa from Porto. Don't know much about him. And then Raya from Brentford, who I would take. I would take him. Bro, David De Gea, I see people saying we've got more important. No, because he's costing us games. Everyone's like, but what about the saves he makes? How can a man save us in one game and then cost us the next?
Yeah.
So it balances itself out. He's not saving us anyway. Everyone's about the Golden Glove. Our defense won the Golden Glove, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Lisandro and Varane
Right.
with Wamby and Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw sometimes playing centre back as well. Won us the Golden Glove. Not De Gea. Too many mistakes, bro. Sevilla mistakes. West Ham mistake. City in the FA Cup final mistake. Too many mistakes from this man.
That's off the top of my head, and there was more.
Yeah, exactly. There's loads more. He's got to go. People are defending this guy. How can you? Yes, bro, he's been a good servant. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. There's a period of time where he was our best player. Roy Keane, that tells you where the club was when David De Gea was winning Premier League. Even though I remember one season he was absolutely phenomenal. Remember the game against Arsenal at the Emirates where like man was moving like Stretch Armstrong, bro, like on a mad thing. But his time's up now, bro. His time is up.
And you know what it is, yeah? It's like a relationship. How can it's like being with the hair is like a toxic relationship. How can someone kiss you and then slap you at the same time? That's basically what it is.
Mad thing.
You don't know when it's gonna come from. It's
mad thing.
And his feet and his distribution as well.
Exactly. And we need someone that can play with their feet, have good distribution. Because remember the Brentford game where you passed it into Eriksen? For no reason when he was surrounded by three players. So look, when you bring all of those things together, you see that David De Gea, great servant for the football club, but his time is up. It's time to go. If we could bring in Raya, I don't know much about this Costa youth, so I can't comment. But if we could bring in Raya, I'm happy with that.
I'm happy with Raya.
We move forward with the football club. I think if we could do all of those things, I don't think these things are impossible, ST. I think it's realistic. The names that we've brought up and the signings that we could do with the outgoings, because you think about it, we're losing Donny, Harry Maguire's going, David De Gea will go, could possibly lose Christian Eriksen, Martial will go, I'm trying to think, Phil Jones is finally going to be off the books, so that frees up 200 grand a week that Ollie gave him. So yeah, that's 6 players off the top of my head that I've named that can go. Twanzebe will go. Twanzebe will go as well. So when you put all of those together, we've got a lot of players that we can go. So I'm happy to bring in the names that I've said. I don't think it's unrealistic expectations that we could bring all those players in. Obviously, we'll find out who's going to be owning the football club and where do we go from there. But I think that those signings are realistic. Maybe centre forward. I think the budget is 150 to 200 mil. At this moment in time under the Glaziers and probably under Radcliffe as well. So we may struggle to bring all of those signings in. But I think with the money, if we make the right money from the players that we're going to get rid of, then we can more than compensate and get those players in, especially with players coming off the wages as well. But ST... when we look ahead to next season, if we do make those signings and have that team, for me personally, top 4 is still the target. However, with a team like that, we should be pushing City, and I am gonna go out on a limb. We'll find out when we get into next season, we'll see. But I reckon Liverpool will be back. And I think they will be the ones to challenge City next season. So I think
it will be Chelsea.
No. Don't get me wrong, they'll be back. Don't get me wrong, they will be back. But under Poch,
I think
with
they will
that
be back.
team, especially if the fat man is their striker, I don't think so.
I hear you, but the reason why I say this, the 1 game a week, bro, as well, you know.
That's the thing. The one game a week, but they've got a lot to do as well. They've got a lot of players that they're getting rid of, and Poch is going to go there, and it's a new culture, a new way of playing. So don't get me wrong, the 1 game a week I think benefits them for top 4, but I don't think they're the ones that are going to challenge City. I genuinely think it will be Liverpool. I think Liverpool are going to bring in McAllister. I think they're looking at Maddison as well. I can't remember. I think that Lavia youth they're being linked with. So
if they get Lavia, I'll be.
Yeah, exactly. Lavia is another. Oh yeah, Lavia is another one that we can take.
Lavia,
as well.
I would take Lavia.
Yeah. So there you go. So, but I think Liverpool and City next season, I think we should be able to push them. If we don't sustain at least pushing them until about February, March, then questions need to be asked. But with that team that I said, we should be making top four comfortably. We should be pushing City and Liverpool for the title, and we should be winning the FA Cup with that team, as well as getting out the group stage of the Champions League and seeing how far we can get from that. Those are my realistic expectations for that cup. I don't know about for the club if we do that business. I don't. What are you saying?
FA Cup, I don't think we're good enough still to win. I still think City are the favourites. So I'm gonna say probably get another final for the FA Cup, retain the Carabao Cup, push more on it. I'm expecting Man United to challenge for at least second place in the Premier League if we get the signings that I think if we do and everything goes to plan, second place, minimum last 16 of the Champions League quarterfinals for me. If we get the signings that I want, we can get the signings. And yeah, that's what I think about it.
Oh, hold on, ST. I think, is it this season? I think next season, if it's not next season, it's the season after the format of the Champions League changes.
Yes, it is.
I think, I can't remember exactly. I don't remember the rules and regulations. People will look that up and give that to you next season. But I think it's either this season coming up or the season after the format of the Champions League changes. I still think it's the same principles in terms of the last 16, but it's a league table format and you play a certain amount of it's all a bit complex, but we'll break that down for you people later on. But last 16 quarterfinals should be the minimum requirement for us for the Champions League. I can completely concur with that. I think we should win the FA Cup. League Cup, I'm not too fussed about this season. I don't necessarily want next season. If we win it, it's not going to have the same feeling as this season because we needed a trophy and it was a good stepping stone. Now, I think realistically, the trophies that we should win should be the FA Cup next season with that team. And a top four finish again, hopefully a third place finish. But it's going to be the most difficult season in Premier League history, bro. When you look at it, it's going to be the so-called Big Six all going at it. Obviously, Newcastle with their money, Brighton, if they don't lose all of their players. Because Caicedo's another one we could take, bro.
Oh, bro, but listen, about Brighton as well, I don't think even if they lose Caicedo, bro, their scouting system, we need to take that person because he is brilliant. Like all these
crazy.
In CCO, look, you just got in CCO to the end as well. All these guys, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna find more gems. That's how they are.
This is it, and then you got to remember Aston Villa as well. You are playing Conference League football. Emery's
on smoke. Emery's a
well, this is it. So when you put this all together, next season is going to be one of the most difficult seasons in the Premier League. But ST, to wrap up on United season, I think we said it in the beginning, but like me personally, again, Ten Hag exceeded expectations with the third place finish. Didn't think that we get there. The brand of football that we've seen has been good in games. I think I said I'll bring up that Chelsea game, high quality. The Arsenal away, even though we lost that, was high quality football. I'm trying to think. The Barcelona, the 2 legs against Barcelona, high quality football games. So we've seen glimpses of what Ten Hag wants to do and how he wants to play. But at the same time, we've also seen the other side to his game, and it's going to be a learning experience. You always learn in the Premier League. Well, we got to wrap up, bro. But final thoughts before we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna score him. I don't know what you'd score him out of 10. But for me, he get a 7 out of 10 for me this year. If I'm being honest, I'm trying to be as in terms
7's
of
the wrong number, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Give him an 8. Give him an 8.
Fine, 8. We'll say 8. 7.5.
7.5.
Yeah, out of 10. He's had a good season. Like The reason why the 2.5 is I think we could have done better in the league and the Europa League. You especially as well, both of us, but you especially wanted Europa League. I wanted Europa League, if I'm being honest. But but apart from that,
it is what
it's a
it is.
learning
But
curve,
of course, and I'd agree with the 7.5. There's a lot that he needs to improve on, but at the same time, he's exceeded expectations in the league, and he's brought us our first trophy in 6 years, bro. So I can't complain. Ten Heisenberg, keep it going, but we have to push on from here because we need to get back to where we need to get to. It's going to be it's 10 years since we won the league, bro. We can't have this continue. We need to get back at it, and I think Ten Hag has it's been 10 years, bro. It's been 10 years. Time flies. But I think he's the man to get us back to the mountaintop as long as he makes the right bloody signings. People, let us know what you think in the comment section. Let us know what you think about United season. Do you think it's been a good one? Do you think it's been average? Do you think it's been bad? How would you rate Ten Hag? What signings do you think that we should make in the summer? Who do you think our rivals are going to be? And let us know what you think. But before we go, as usual, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Get the likes up, get the subscriptions up. At the same time, share. We are here. And don't forget to join our social media pages as well. Links are in the description. Want to say thank you very much to my guy, ST. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. We'll be back. We're still kind of on sabbatical, but we're back.
We were on sabbatical, people. We are on sabbatical, people. But people, we will be back. We need to wrap up the season. Hopefully, we're going to get all the man them on to join us so we can wrap up the season after the Champions League final. And we'll be dissecting everything that's gone on in the Premier League and the Champions League. And obviously, we are going to absolutely destroy Chelsea and their fans. But people, that is it from us. United talk is wrapped up. United season is over. But stay safe, be safe out there, and we shall see you very, very soon. Peace.